Okay. So after this story, we have to move ahead. The Kartikeya story. This is how the birth of the commander-in-chief of gods happened. Later on, he continues the story. He says that Vishwamitra himself continues the story. He says that you may have heard about your ancestor named Sagara. Oh yes, I have heard. He was trained. Who does not have the entire history of their ancestors? So Rama had. We don't. We don't know about our great-grandfathers because we are fools. We don't know about our own ancestors. But Rama knew about his ancestors. So as soon as he heard about Sagara, he was more interested. He did not know that Sagara had something to do with Ganga. So then he said that Sagara had two wives. His first wife was called as Keshini. The second one was called as Sumati. So Keshini and Sumati. And he was childless. Sagara was childless. So he was doing his penance in Bhrigu Ashrama. And Bhrigu came there and he gave him a varadan. He said that I'm going to grant you two boons. It's left to your wives. It's up to them to choose. One of them will have only one son. Another one will have 60,000 sons. The marvel of whatever you want to call Indian science, don't call it just as of now. It might be some other, it may have some other significance as well. Let's just go through the story, that's all. One wife can have one son, only one son. Another one can have 60,000 sons. Now both were interested, Keshini and Sumati. They decided amongst themselves. Keshini said that I shall have only one son. And Sumati decided to have 60,000 sons. The son born to Keshini from Sagara is called as Asamanja. Remember the name, Asamanja. Because one of the leading female characters of Ramayana, Kaikeyi, will make a reference to this fellow, Asamanja, when talking to Rama in Ayodhya. So please remember the name. And 60,000 sons were born to Sumati. And slowly they all grew up. Asamanja grew up to be a bad egg. I don't know what was wrong with him. He was a very problematic person. He was completely not himself. He used to take newborn children in and around Ayodhya and drop them into Sarayu, river Sarayu. Any newborn child, he used to take them, he used to grab them from the mother's lap and put them and throw them into Sarayu. The people complained and the king listened. It was not that all these things were introduced during democracy. No. The people were listened to. The people were heard back in those monarchy as well. So Sagara heard and he gave his decision. And without thinking twice, he sent him away. He banished him from his kingdom. Sagara banished his own son, Asamanja, from his kingdom. And then he decided that I want to do an Ashwamedha. So he started the preparations. When that Ashwa, the horse, was kept there, Indra decided to steal that horse. Again, grand scheme of things. That's the only answer that I can give. He is a part of the committee, so I don't know why he did that. How can a god, a king of gods, can steal? I don't know. It's not like that. It's very difficult to understand their characters. All right. So he stole that horse and he took it away and he kept it in Kapila's ashrama and went back, sat, and he wanted to watch what will happen, what will reveal now. So as soon as the horse was missing, the Purohitas told Sagara that you have to bring it back. Without horse, we cannot perform Ashwamedha Yaga. So he sent Asamanja. Before he was banished, he had a son. His name was Amshuman. He must also be remembered. So he said that Amshuman, you stay here, and the rest of them, the 60,000 sons of Sagara, they were sent in search of that horse, and they went everywhere, every nook and corner of this world. They could not find it. Then Sagara had ordered them, if you don't find it in this world, in this earth, dig the earth. Someone must have kept it hidden inside the earth. So they start digging. They went up until Rasatalam. Rasatalam is the last layer before Patalam. There are 7 layers down there. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Mahatala, and the Rasatala is the last but one layer. Up until then, they dug, they could not find. They came back empty-handed. Sagara said, I don't care. You have to find that horse. And then they went to each and every direction. They went to the east and they found a Diggaja, an elephant that carries the entire earth in the eastern direction. His name was Virupaksha. There is a mention of a particular shloka which might be of some interest to people because it is profusely quoted in some other discussions. How does earthquake happen? Okay, people use this quotation from Ramayana to smear the good image of Indian science. So the line goes like this: Yada Parvani Kakustha. Kakustha is a reference to Rama. During special days, during Parva days, Vishramartham, just to take some rest, Mahagajaha, the Diggaja, what he does is Kheda Chalayate Shirsh. He just nods his head, and that's when Bhumikampa happens. That's when earthquake happens. Again, don't take this as there is an elephant, an imaginary elephant, nodding its head. That's why Bhumikampa happens. No. But when the scientists make great claims that there are layers, different layers within the earth, and when they clash, earthquake happens, we all nod our head in agreement. But when the same thing is said about a Diggaja, because we cannot imagine, we don't know the structure of this Diggaja. Anyway, this particular line could be of some interest to people. That's why I mentioned. Ramayana is an ocean. You can find reference to many such shastras, many such interesting things in and there. Somewhere around, he puts them deliberately, Valmiki. All right. So then, after the east, they went to Dakshinasyandishi. They went to the south. There was Mahapadma, and they dug in. They could not find. Then they went to the west. There was a Diggaja named Saumanasa. Even there, they could not find. And then they went to the north. There was a Gaja named Bhadra. They could not find the horse there as well. Now, defeated, they thought that let's start with Ishanya, northeast. Okay, just between there, between north and east, Ishanya. They dug in there, and finally they happened to find an ashrama there. And the horse was present there. It was none other than Kapila's ashrama. You know Kapila, the great Acharya, the great Avatara, who gave this world Sankhya Darshana. The man who gave Sankhya Darshana to this world. Kapila was doing his penance. These 60,000 shouting people, sons of Sagara, 60,000 sons of Sagara, with all their armies behind them, they went there and they started abusing Kapila. How dare you steal our horse, so and so. He did not even open his eyes, Kapila. He was so immersed in Samadhi. He just did hunkar. We say nittusiru in Kannada. We take a long breath. We take a deep breath down. He just did that. All of them were burned down to ashes. 60,000 sons of Sagara burned down to ashes just because of a hunkara of Kapila. Imagine what kind of a man Kapila was. It was a very long time. None of his sons returned. Sagara was worried, so he sent Amshuman. Amshuman went there and he saw, and he said, and he cried there. He cried profusely. He wanted to give them moksha by giving Jaladanam and all. He wanted to give them Tarpana, but he could not. It's not that there was no water at all. He says that laukikena jalena dhatum na shakyate. That's the word Valmiki uses. See, because of the sin that they committed, they did not disturb a normal rishi. They disturbed Kapila. So their sins cannot be washed away by normal water because their pH level is not compatible with their sin. So you need a higher pH level water that is present only in Ganga. You have to bring Ganga. And he had only heard stories about Ganga. How can I bring Ganga to earth? So he was not worried about it, but he requested, please give us this Ashwa, this horse. He took that horse, he came, he gave it to Sagara. Sagara completed his yaga. He was already disturbed. He had one son, he had banished him. He had 60,000 sons, they all were burnt down to ashes. So he had no interest left in life. So he gave the entire kingdom to Anshuman and he went back to Tapas in Vanaprastha. He took Vanaprastha. Anshuman was worried and he could not do anything. He would not find any idea to bring Ganga. So he passed on to his son, Dilipa. Dilipa was a great king, no doubt about it. The Raghuvamsham of Kalidasa begins with Dilipa. There was no doubt Dilipa was a great king, but he was not able to bring Ganga down. Now, he passed it on to his son, Bhagiratha. Bhagiratha, this great man, had only one mission, only one goal in his life. That is to bring Ganges down onto this earth. So, he did penance, he did tapas, and he asked Brahma, how should I do it? He said that you have to ask Lord Parameshwara. Only Lord Mahadeva can hold the speed of Ganga. Only he can control her. No one else can. And if Ganga falls down from Svargaloka, from Akasha to Bhumi, this entire earth will be washed away. That's how quick she is, or that's how vigorous she is in her speed. So fine, okay. He went to Mahadeva. He requested him. He was Ashutosha. Lord Mahadeva is called as Ashutosha. He said, okay, granted. But Ganga was not happy. Why should I come through him? Who is he to control me? Feminism. Okay, so she did not like the idea of a man controlling her. So she decided that I will take this fellow Mahadeva along with me. I will run him down to the earth. She had no clue what she was getting into, did she? She went there. She was so caught up in Parameshwara's jata that she was not even able to find the next path. There was no light at the end of the tunnel for Ganga, unfortunately. So many years happened. Bhagiratha sat here waiting. Oh, now the stream will start flowing from Kailasa. Nothing came down. He went back to Mr. Ashutosha, Lord Mahadeva. Bhagavan, what happened? He said, see, look at her. She wanted to bring me down, so I have kept her. He said, Prabhu, please have mercy on me and my ancestors. Mahadeva agreed. Then he decided that let Ganga flow in 7 different streams. The first 3 streams, named as Hladini, Pavani, and Nalini, they flew towards the eastern direction. I will send all the names. Just listen to the story, because it becomes very difficult for me to focus on the trivia while narrating. And then Suchakshu, Sita, and Sindhu, these 3 streams, they started flowing towards the western side. It divided like this. Himalayas, Kailasa is in the north, right? Swarga is in the north direction. Eastern 3 streams and western 3 streams. So they were divided. And only one remained. That was not named. It was only simply called as the 7th one, Saptami. It was only called as Saptami. And she followed Bhagiratha. And Bhagiratha brought her. What a sight it was for the sore eyes of the people. Valmiki describes the grandeur of the 7th stream of Ganga flowing and following, not just flowing, but following Bhagiratha. It was a great sight to behold. So she followed him. The moment it touched the ashes, they were all liberated. That was the power of Ganga. Every amphibian wanted to be a part of Ganga. Every rishi, they said that Bhavanga Patitam Toyam. They were all interested because this is coming from the body of Lord Parameshwara. Bhavanga Patitam Toyam Nirmalam Gatakalmasha. What more could be pious than that which is coming from Parameshwara's body? So they all took a dip in Ganga and they were all washed off all their sins. Now everything was going hunky-dory, smoothly. she had one more problem. There was a Maharshi named as Janhu. He had an ashram. He was performing a yaga. Ganga could have kept simply, and she could have changed her course, but she did not. What she did was, she destroyed the entire Janhu's ashrama. Janhu was not happy with this. Said, if you have this much of power, do you know how much power I have? He took her like this, like how we take tirtham. He took Ganga like this. He swallowed her. Finished. Ganga has again disappeared. Now, Bhagiratha never lost his mind, never lost his will. That's why in Kannada we say that Bhagiratha Prayatna. If you want to try like Bhagiratha in life. He never once sat down disappointed. So many hurdles he faced, and yet he was able to bring her down. Now he requested Janhu. Janhu decided, okay, fine. Now from Janhu's right ear, another flow, the same stream came again from Janhu's right ear. That's why Ganga is called as Janhavi, because she became the daughter of Janhu. Janhu Tanaya, Janhavi. So finally she came in. And do you remember the 60,000 sons of Sagara and what great thing they had done in all four directions? They had dug up the earth. So that needs to be filled now. What filled it? Ganga filled it. That's how four major oceans in four major directions happened. So basically, ocean is also filled with the Ganga. That's why Ganga Sagar Sangam is one of the most celebrated thing in the northern part of India. It holds a very unique significance for many people. So this is the story of the descent of Ganga. And then there was a nearby place called as Vishala. And about this Vishala, Rama asked a question, what is this place all about? Now, he narrated the entire episode of Samudra Mathanam. You all are aware of that story, and it has no major significance. First, the Devatas and the Asuras, they both wanted to stay. They were not Devatas or Asuras before. They were simply the sons of Aditi and Diti. Sons of Aditi, sons of Diti, cousins. They decided, they had a meeting, WhatsApp group. They decided that we should be Amaras. We should be deathless. We should be invincible. We should never die. So what should we do? Let's churn the ocean. What an idea. So they took this Bechara Mandara Parvata, Mandara mountain. They made him as the churning stick. They roped in Vasuki as the rope. They started churning. The first thing that came out of the ocean was halahala. Everybody ran away. Nobody could survive it. In comes Lord Parameshwara. Fret not, I am here. So he drank that. That's how he became Nilakantha. And then came many other things from that Samudra. The major things that are after that, it was drowning. The Mandara Parvata was drowning. So Mahavishnu was asked to take care of it. So he became Kurma. That's how Kurma Avatara happened. So he took the entire Parvata on his back, and then they started churning it again. And then came Dhanvantari, and then Apsaras, Varuni, that is Sura. Only the sons of Aditi accepted her. So that's why they were called as Suras. And the sons of Diti, they refused her. So that's why they were called as Asuras. And then came Uchchaishrava, a horse. Indra said, I want this horse. Then came Airavata, he said, I want this. Kaustubha came. Vishnu said, I want this. And Mahalakshmi came. Vishnu said, she is mine. And finally, Amrita came. And then there began a war between the cousins. And Vishnu had to take one more avatar of Mohini to prevent from mass destruction. And then he divided them. You all know the story. This is the place where it all happened. That place is called as Vishala. The kings of Vishala, he gives a list of the kings of Vishala. So afterwards, they have almost reached Mithila. They were about to reach Mithila. And before they entered Mithila, Rama saw an ashrama. He was curious to know, whose ashrama is this? It looked beautiful. The ashrama looked beautiful, but deserted. A deserted ashrama always calls for questions. So Rama asked questions about this ashrama. And Vishwamitra began narrating him the story of Ahalya and Gautama. This is the ashrama of Gautama, Gautama's wife Ahalya. Ahalya did a mistake. Many of you may not believe it. It was the fraudulent Indra who convinced her, right? That's not the story. That's not the actual story. That's why I am going to quote every word of the shloka where both of them were equally responsible for the sin they committed. Once Gautama was away for some other work, Ahilya was there. Ahilya was beautiful. Indra wanted her. So he came in the disguise of Gautama Maharshi and asked her. She agreed. Because she was deceived by Indra? No. She was not deceived by Indra. Just observe the words of Valmiki. Munivesham sahasraksham vijnaya raghunandana matinchakara durmedha devaraja kutuhalat. She knew this was Sahasraksha. She knew the moment she set her eyes on the disguised Indra, she knew that this was Indra. He is not Gautama. He is not my husband. She knew that. But Devaraja Kutuhala, she wanted to know what Indra is made of. So she agreed. And afterwards, Kritarthasmi Surashrestha, these are the words of Ahalya. He said, I'm happy. Kritarthasmi Surashrestha, Gacha Shigramita Prabhu. You leave now. Quickly you leave from here. And Indra was also happy. He was about to leave. And that's the moment when Gautama entered. So he gave curse to both of them equally. Again, the word curse needs to be understood in a different perspective. So he said that you have done a heinous thing. You have done a cowardice. You are a coward. This was to Indra. So he said that since you are a coward and you have done such a heinous crime, may you not have any balls anymore. That's how Indra lost his balls. Indra is ballless. I'm sorry, that's the story. I have to say those words. Now he went back to gods and other rishis. Indra, he was very sad. How am I supposed to do this? So the gods had another idea. So they summoned the Pitrudevatas. Pitrudevatas are supposed to be superior to gods. So they summoned them. They asked their help. They said, see, whoever offers you the balls of a goat, you grant them boons on this earth. And when they offer you the balls of, and you do one thing, you take the balls of Mesha, that is goat, and fix it to Indra. And whoever offers you the meat of a ballless goat, you grant them boons. This is the reason why back in those days during Shraddha, during Pitru Karmas, the goat meat was served. This is not applicable to Kali Yuga. Not at all applicable to Kali Yuga. It's a different time and period. So this was offered. So Indra's chapter was over. And now Ahalya also did a mistake. So she was to be corrected. So Gautama cursed her that may you become invisible to anybody's eye. Nobody should see you. Until Dasharatha's son Rama enters this ashrama, you will remain invisible. So this is the actual story. But I know the famous versions of the story as well. Ahalya became a stone. Right? That's how the story goes. Ahalya became a stone. She became stone-like. The word used by Valmiki is stone-like. That's all. Adrishya sarvabhutanam ashramesmin vasishyasi. Adrishya sarvabhutanam. Can it be more simpler and easy than this? Adrishya. You should be invisible to everybody. And then Vishwamitra said that this is your time to shine, my dear boy. Enter the ashram. According to popular story, Rama enters Ahalya's ashrama. He touched Ahalya, that stone, with his feet. That's how Ahalya got back her original Swarupa. No. Nothing. She was simply invisible in that ashrama. Nobody knew that she existed there. The moment Rama stepped in, her shapa was over, her curse was over, her curse was lifted. And she became that beautiful lady that she was once. And the moment this happened, it was Rama who liberated Ahalya from the Gautama's shapa, Gautama's curse, right? But as soon as she came back to her original Swarupa, both Rama and Lakshmana touched her feet and took her blessings. And she offered him, both of them, fruits and everything. The Atithya happened. Even Gautama came back. He was Trikala Jnani. He knew at what point this is going to happen. So he came back. So he also did all the Atithi Satkara to Rama and Lakshmana. And that closes another topic of today's lecture, that is releasing Ahalya of her curse. Now comes the most important one, the jewel, the crown jewel of today's session, the legend of Vishwamitra. How did it begin? After Ahalya's ashrama, Gautama's ashrama, they reached Janaka's asthanam. They reached Mithila, the heart of Mithila. And I am speaking from that particular place today. They reached the heart of Mithila. They were welcomed. Janaka was very happy to receive Vishwamitra. Who would not be? Any king would be happy to receive Vishwamitra. Such a great fellow, such a great sage. He welcomed him and he asked questions about who are these two young boys? They look like lions, young lions. They both look similar to each other. Who are they? So he explained everything, whatever they did. And then there was, he narrated every single story very briefly. He told Janaka that on our way here, we visited Gautama's ashrama. We saw Ahalya and Gautama together. Janaka's Kula Purohita was Shatananda. Who is this Shatananda? Shatananda was the eldest son of Gautama and Ahalya. He was very happy to know that his mother's curse was lifted off. So he was very happy. So he welcomed them. And then he asked Rama, very politely he asked, has Vishwamitra narrated you many stories? I'm very sure he has narrated you many stories. Rama nodded his head, yes. The master has narrated plenty of stories. Yes. Do you know his story? Do you know the legend of Vishwamitra? Do you know what is this man? Achintya Karma. He is a man who can do things that are known to be impossible to other people. Achintya Karma Tapasa. Vishwamitro Mahateja. Not only that, he says that Nasti Dhanyataro Rama Tvattonyo Bhuvikashana. There is no other person much more blessed than you, my dear child Rama, because Gopta Kushika Putraste, Vishwamitra has taken you under his tutelage. He has taken you under his wings. You are the luckiest person alive on this earth. Remember this. A disciple do not seek the guru. A guru finds his disciple. Example, Vishwamitra found, unearthed. He forcefully grabbed Rama, snatched Rama from the hands of Dasharatha. That's how a Guru Shakti works. If it is meant to happen, that Guru will come to our place. He will drag us away from the clutches of this materialistic world. That's the way a Guru works. Never forget. The great example, Vishwamitra and Rama. That's why the title reads Vishwamitra, the architect of Rama. Rama had all the qualities in him hidden. Vishwamitra was the one who formed him, who made him into a shape. He taught him unknowingly, he taught him many things. He taught him Rajadharma, the nuances, the subtleties of Rajadharma, everything. Now was the time for Rama to know about his guru, Vishwamitra. So Shatananda began. This fellow Vishwamitra was not a Brahmana before. He was a Kshatriya. He used to go by the name Kaushika. Remember? Gadhi's son of Gadhi, Kaushika. He was a great king. He had everything. He was ruling his kingdom fantastically. One fine day, he was on a series of visits to ashramas. And one fine day, he visited the ashrama of your Kula Purohita, Vasishtha. Two great people coming together. Kaushika, the king Kaushika, visited Vasishtha's ashrama. They were very happy. They exchanged pleasantries with one another. And after that, Vasishtha insisted, Kaushika, that I want to do Atithi Satkara, not just only for you, but for your entire army. He was not traveling alone. Do you think a king travels alone? No, there will be plenty of people following him. And he was not traveling alone. He was carrying his entire army with him. So Vasishtha offered that I want to do Atithi Satkaram for your entire army. He said, no, why bother, master? You have done plenty of favor for us. No need, we will take leave. But he insisted. Vasishtha insisted. Because it's a great thing to do Atithi Satkara for an Atithi like a Maharaja, for a king. So finally, Vasishtha went to his Yagashala. He called upon his favorite cow. Her name was Shabala. She was not a normal cow. That doesn't mean that she was a Jersey cow. No. She was not even a Jersey cow. She was not a Desi cow. She was a divine cow. There's a third category. Jersey cow at the bottom, and then comes Desi cow, and then comes divine cow. Shabala was a divine cow. She belonged to that category. So Vasishtha went up to her and said that, see, I have taken this responsibility of serving this entire army. He said, don't worry, master. And she prepared beautiful delicacies for each and every person according to their whims and fancies. Every person has their own wish. Somebody wants to eat a mango during winter season. Granted, that is Shabala for you. Every wish of every single person was taken care of. Vishwamitra was flabbergasted. Sorry, not Vishwamitra, Kaushika. Kaushika was flabbergasted. He was not expecting that a Mamuli, a simple rishi, can do such kind of an Atithi Satkara. So he asked people around. He came to know that this is all because of this one cow that he has, a divine cow. Here comes the offer. Then and there itself, he gave an offer letter to Vasishtha. The following were the terms of that offer letter. He said, Gavam Shata Sahasrena, 1,00,000 cows. I'm going to give you 1,00,000 cows in exchange of one divine cow called as Shabala. You give the Shabala to me, I will grant you 1,00,000 cows. Because this is a Ratna, this is a gem. And Ratnahari cha Parthiva. Kings are known to be the owners of gems. All great things on this land must belong to a king. You may have heard stories about this, about kings and queens. I have heard anything that used to be found in any land, may it be hidden jewelry, hidden gold coins or anything, that should not be touched by the person who owned that land. It should be given to the king, and the king was supposed to make use of it in a proper way. That's how the things worked back in those days. So he said that, referring to this, see again, Artha Shastra, how subtly, how beautifully Valmiki puts the ingredients of Artha Shastra in between conversation. He is a master in this art. Okay, fine, moving on. Vasishtha's counter offer. He said, no, Naham Shatasahasrena, not by 1,00,000, not even Koti Shataihi, 100 crores of cows if you give me, I'm not sending her away. Why? Because Shashpati Shabala, she is my eternal thing. See, these are the things that should be told to people or to things like Shabala by people like Vasishtha. Now, then that makes sense. When two human beings tell each other, you are my eternal thing, you see the irony here? You see the joke here? But that's not how humans must speak. Vasishtha can use such kind of a word. Vasishtha can use such kind of a line for a cow like Shabala. He said that, no, I'm not giving her away. My everything is her. She is my everything. Sarvasvametat satyena mama tushti karitatha. And hence, my king, my lord, I cannot give you her. I cannot give her to you. Now, Kaushika was a good negotiator. Every king should be. He came with a counter offer. Okay, he thought that he's not interested in cows. Fine. He said that Dadami Kunjaranante Sahasrani Chaturdasha. 14,000 elephants. Can you imagine how rich That king was 14,000 elephants he offered. Not just only that, and you pick your choice of horses, and I will grant you 1 crore of those horses. Vasishtha said, no, whatever it is, my lord, nadasyami, shabalam nadasyami. I am not going to give her to you. As simple as that. Etadeva hi me ratnam. When Kaushika offered pearls and gems and gold and silver and money to Vasishtha, this was Vasishtha's reply. He is the original, the OG Gorakshak. If you want to call Vasishtha by that name, call him the original Gorakshak. These are his words. Etadeva hi me ratnam. She is my pearl. Etadeva hi me dhanam. She is my money. Etadeva hi sarvasvam. Etadeva hi jivitam. She is my everything. She is my life. My everything comes from her. So I'm not going to give her to you. Now, this enraged Kaushika, he said that, okay, fine, you're not going to give her to me, fine. I'm going to drag her with me to my kingdom. So Kaushika began dragging Shabala with him. His soldiers forcefully took her. Shabala was worried for a moment. Why is Vasishtha giving me up? What have I done wrong? Why is he sending me away? And then she thought that one last moment, let me go and consult him. Let me go and ask him, why are you sending me away? At least I have the right to know why you are sending me away. So she ran away. Shabala, the cow, ran away from escaping from the soldiers. And she ran to Vasishtha. Vasishtha was surprised. He did not know that she was being dragged away from him. He said, don't worry. I was not giving you up. This was not done by me. I have not given you away. But you tell me, how am I supposed to face the king? He is mighty. He has armies. He is not an army. He has armies. I have nothing. How am I supposed to fight? He said, why do you worry, my lord? Shabala said to Vasishtha, I shall grant you armies. For a cow who can grant you Atithi Satkaram, who can make delicacies, she is the true sign or true ambassador of feminism. Shabala is the true sign of true ambassador of feminism. She can not only cook things for thousands of people, she can also generate armies like this. See, Kambojas, she created Pallavas, Shakas, Yavanas, all these armies she created. And she was the one who reminded Vasishtha. She said that, Nabalam Kshatriyasyahu Brahmana Balavattaraha. My lord, Kshatriya is not the powerful one. It is the Brahmana who is the powerful one. Why don't you remember? Why don't you recognize your power? It was Shabala who reminded Vasishtha. And then she said that, I shall grant you armies. So the armies of Pallavas, Shakas and Yavanas came from her. She just did that hunkara and out came the armies. Don't ask me how and why. Just enjoy the story. So, because it has some other significance. And then Kaushika was not a normal king. He was a great king. He defeated all those armies very easily. And now from her hunkara, she created again Kambojas. From her udder, the udder part of the cow, she created Barbaras. And then from her womb came Yavanas. From her anus came Shakas. And from her roots of hair, Romakupa, we call it as. From her roots of hair came Lechas, Haritas, and Kiratas. Huge army. And they all defeated Kaushika's army. Now, Kaushika was utterly defeated. A humiliating defeat at the hands of armies created in moments by a cow. He was devastated. He made one of his sons as the heir to the throne, and he went to do tapas. Wait a minute, not the tapas that you are thinking, not the great tapas journey of Kaushika. This was for a different cause. This was for a different purpose. He prayed to Lord Mahadeva. Again, Mr. Ashutosha. He came there and he asked, give me Dhanurveda. Yaditushto Mahadeva Dhanurvedo Mamanagha. And not just simply Dhanurveda. Give me Sango Panga Upanishadaha. Sarahasyaha Pradiyata. Teach me everything there is to know about Dhanurveda. Teach me everything that you know about Dhanurveda. Tatha. Evamastu. As I said, Mahadeva is very kind to people. I said, Evamastu. He learned every single astra that he knew, that there is to be known in this world. Kaushika knew all of them. Because he learned from the best. Not from the best. He learned from the one, Mahadeva. Now he came back to attack Vasishtha. Now he saw that the entire ashrama was destroyed by him. The peace-loving ashramas was destroyed by Kaushika after he got all these Dhanurveda and Vidya. Vasishtha was not happy. He said, Kshatrabandho sthitosmi eshaha. Here I am standing in front of you. Yadbalam tad vidarshan. Whatever power you have, show me. Show me your power, what you have gained. I know that you have learned all your Dhanurveda from Bhagavan Mahadeva. Show whatever you have learned. Here I am standing in front of you. Nashayam yadyate darpam. I will teach you a lesson today. And what he did, Kvachate kshatriya balam, kvacha brahma balam mahate. Do you think a kshatriya's power is equivalent to a brahmana's power? The brahma balam? Here I am, seated in front of you. Do what you want to do. He kept a brahma danda in front of him. Vasishtha sat down, aramse, in sukhasanam. Now, as we say in Kannada, chakramatke. He sat down in Sukhasanam. He kept that Brahmadandam in front of him, said, begin. Kaushika was enraged by this. How come he's so audacious in nature, Vasishtha? Does he think that this one small danda will protect him? Thus, he began using every astra he knew. He used Varuna, Raudra, Indra, Pashupata, Aishika. I can go on and on and on and on. Every single astra he had, he used. Finally, he took the last resort, Brahmastra. The entire world was watching cautiously what is going to happen. There he is, Vasishtha, the original Brahmarshi, the only Brahmarshi before. And here is Kaushika using Brahmastra on a Brahmarshi who is sitting in front of a Brahmadandam. Just imagine the power. It's like merging three suns together. S-U-N. Three suns bringing together. How could it be happening right in front of us? So he used it. Nothing happened. He did not even flinch. He did not even go elsewhere. He sat there. The Brahmadanda engrossed that Brahmastra. And the energy that created, like we say, goosebumps, that energy started coming out of Vasishtha's body. And everybody was witnessing this beautiful picture. And you should read it in original Sanskrita. It's picturesque. What a beautiful description by Valmiki. And then he says that all the sages, all the gods, they prayed to Vasishtha. Brahman, please calm down. And Vishwamitra, Kaushika realized one thing on that fateful day. Digbalam, Kshatriya balam, Brahma tejo balam balam. If there is power in this world, it is Brahma balam. And Kshatriya balam, Dhikkar. I renounce Kshatriya balam. He left everything. Tapo mahat samasthasye. I shall do penance, which shall lead me to Brahmatva Karanam, which shall make me a Brahmana, which shall bring me that Brahma power. Thus began the journey of one of the greatest ever sages, Vishwamitra. He was not yet Vishwamitra, he was still Kaushika. So he began his tapas. And after a while, after thousands of years, it was not 1 day, 2 day affair. It was thousands of years together. affair. So he did that tapas, and finally Brahma came in front of him. He said, Jita Rajarshi Lokaste. You are a Rajarshi now, my dear. Stand up. He said, I am not convinced with this. I want to be a Brahmarshi. I am not satisfied with Rajarshi. So he decided that he shall do more tapas. And while he was doing, first of the many vignas, many hurdles that came Vishwamitra's way, there was an Ikshvaku king who again happens to be the ancestor of Rama, Trishanku. He came to Vishwamitra. Actually, he went to his guru, his Kulapurohita Vasishtha. He said that, Brahman, I want to reach Svarga with this body. Vasishtha said, it is impossible. My lord, it is impossible to send you with this body to Svarga. He said, if you don't consider my offer, then I will go elsewhere. So Vasishtha gave him a shapa. He said, you turn into a Chandala this moment because you are refusing your guru. You are not supposed to do that. I am supposed to take care of you, idiot, and I am taking care of you. And you don't want to listen to my words, and you want to override my warning. So go. Bhad meja. And he sent him. He cursed Trishanku. He became a Chandala. And he should have gone to Vishwamitra directly, but no. He went to Vasishtha's sons of Vasishtha, 100 of them. He went to them. He said, your father has not accepted my offer. He is not ready to send me to Svarga like this. I beseech you. I implore you. Please send me with this body to Svarga. They said, are you a fool? Okay, yeah, I know. Just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Are you a fool? Do you take us for a fool? You may be able to override our guru's order, but we cannot override him. We are never going to do that. So you please go away. Don't come to us again. So they sent him away. And there was only one person who could accept his offer. So he knew. He came to Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra, the moment he saw this Chandala, he knew that this is not a Chandala, this is Trishanku, the king of Ayodhya. He accepted him. He said that, fine. And then what is your problem, my lord? Vishwamitra asked Trishanku. Trishanku said that, see, I have performed so many yagas, Brahman, but I am not able to reach Svarga with this body, and I want to reach that. Nanyam gatim gamishyami, nanyat charanamastime. I have no other place to go. You are my sarvasvam. You are my everything. You must lead me now. You are the only person in this world who is able to turn the Daiva, who can go against Daiva. You are the only person that I know. Vishwamitra was happy. He was still raw. He was not Brahmarshi yet. So you must understand that. So he was happy when somebody praises me. I will be very happy. He said, I will send you to Svarga. He sent invitations. Vishwamitra sent invitations to all the sages, including Vasishtha. Everybody is summoned to this great yaga where I am going to send Trishanku to Svarga with this body, with this human body. Nobody accepted his offer. They all rejected him. Kshatriyo yajako yasya. You are a Kshatriya. You don't know anything about performing yagas. And the Yajamana happens to be a Chandala who is cursed by his own guru. We are not coming to your yaga. We are very sorry. Vishwamitra got enraged. He recursed them. All those who refused him, he recursed them. They were all burned down to ashes. Now the other people who saw this as an example, they were afraid. They said, let us go to Vishwamitra. Let us do whatever this fellow tells us, because his anger cannot be controlled. So they all went. Thus began the yaga. And Vishwamitra invoked the gods. Nobody came. They were supposed to come, but none of them came down. Now comes one of the greatest lines ever told by Vishwamitra. He told him, Swarjitam kinchidapyasti. Even I have accumulated some tapas in my life. I shall send you with the help of my tapas to Svarga. And off goes Trishanku to Svarga. He landed in Svarga. That's the power of Vishwamitra's tapas. Only to be sent back away, only to be kicked back away by Indra. And he was falling down, Trishanku, free fall. He's falling down, bungee jumping. Trishanku, right from the doors of Svarga, coming down to the earth. He begged for help. He begged Vishwamitra, Prabho, trahi, trahi. Vishwamitra stopped Trishanku then and there itself. He said, stop. If the gods don't let you into Swarga, I shall create you a Swarga. That is Vishwamitra for him. He created another universe for Trishanku. He created another set of stars. He created another sun. He was about to create another Indra. He says that, Anyam Indram Karishyami. Who do you think I am? I will make another Indra like this, or I will destroy the present Indra. Then all the gods came to Vishwamitra and said that, Prabhu, even you know this is logically impossible. How is it that a human body cannot survive in the Swarga because of the temperature? Just imagine that. Because of the temperature, we cannot survive there. We are logically speaking. So Vishwamitra was finally convinced. So he said, fine, but he should not fall down. Let him remain there. So Trishanku remained there forever as an Amara, but only heads down. So after this, he decided, Vishwamitra said that this is not happening to me. So Dishamanyam Prapatsyamaha. I shall go to some other place. So he went there. He went to Paschima Dik. He went to the west and he started doing tapas. The second of many hurdles came in. The second hurdle was Ambarisha. There was a king named Ambarisha. He was performing a yaga. His pashu was stolen. So he wanted to replace that pashu. The Purohita said that you have to bring a person. So he went to Richika, a rishi named Richika. He had 3 sons. Richika said that I am not going to give you away my eldest son because I want him to perform all the final rites. His mother is not going to give away the youngest one because that's how usually it happens in families. The eldest ones are loved by father. The eldest one is loved by father. The youngest one is loved by mother. And those who are in the middle, they are the ones who suffer. There was this fellow called Shunashepa, who happened to be the second son. He understood the sign that his father was giving. He said, fine, take me Ambarisha, take me with you. So he started. Namesti mata napita jnatayo bandhavah kutaha. He went to only one person, Vishwamitra. He said, Swamin, this is my fate. Everybody has left me. Only you can protect me. He did, but this time he did not create another Shunashepa. He had matured. Vishwamitra had matured because he had become Maharshi now. He was almost on the verge of becoming a Maharshi. So he said that he gave him 2 Rahasya mantras, Indra and Indranuja. Again, this portion of Ramayana is the heart of Veda. Nobody knows what is this Indra mantra and Indranuja mantra. Ramayana does. Vishwamitra gave it to Shunashepa and told him that create a pashu in the form of, create a red pashu and use it, these 2 mantras. Indra will be happy. And Indra was happy. And his yaga was completed. Ambarisha's yaga was completed. Shunashepa lived another day. All thanks to Mr. Vishwamitra. And then he became Rishi. And afterwards, Indra sent Menaka. Said, Menaka, the time has come for you. So he sent Menaka. And he enjoyed. He lost his control. He lost his senses. He thought that this is life. I had never seen such a beautiful woman. Vishwamitra started living with Menaka. One fine day, he realized that what did I do? I wasted all my tapas. He realized, and she left her. He left her, and he then went back to another direction to do tapas. And after that tapas, he was called a Maharshi. But he was not satisfied. He asked Brahma, when will you call me a Brahmarshi? He said, you don't have that kind of control over your senses yet, my son. You cannot be called a Brahmarshi. If you happen to break away from your tapas every time you see a woman, that's not how a Brahmarshi is done. Okay, fine. So what should I do? Then he thought, Vishwamitra thought that I will do some rigorous tapas. Panchagni tapaha in Grishma. That is during summer, surrounding himself amidst 4 agnis and watching sun. That is called as Panchagni Tapa. And during winter, he used to immerse himself up until this part in the water and do tapas. And he did all these things. Dharme Panchatapa Bhutva, Shishire Salile Shahi, everything happened. And another thousands of years went past. Now this time Indra sent Rambha. He insisted her, you should go and you should attract him. Rambha begged for her life. Please don't send me. But she said, I shall protect you. Don't worry. And Indra sent Rambha. This time, Vishwamitra decided that I shall not give up to this. I shall not give in to the attractions of a woman. So he cursed Rambha, and Rambha became a mountain. And he also gave her a deadline. The moment a Brahmana comes to this, some Brahmana, those details are not mentioned in Ramayana, so I don't know, because I don't know. I have not read the diary of Vishwamitra, so I don't know what Brahmana he was. So he said that when this particular Brahmana comes to this Parvata, comes to this mountain, you shall be lifted off your curse. That chapter happened. Now he said that, now he decided, he was on the verge of becoming Maharshi. This is how he became a Brahmarshi. He decided, Naiva Krodham Gamishyam. I shall not be angry anymore. Nacha Vakshya Kathanchana. I shall not speak at all. No, I shall not breathe at all. That was Vishwamitra for him. He decided not to breathe. If I breathe, then I get the urge to speak. If I speak, then I could get angry. Let me not breathe at all. Pranayama. He began that everlasting pranayama. And he decided, Tavad yavadhime praptam brahmanyam tapasarjitam. Until I get brahmanyam, until I become Brahmarshi, I shall not breathe again. And thus began one of the greatest ever journey, the last part of Vishwamitra's journey. So he did that tapas. Finally, after many years, he decided to eat something. Indra came in the disguise of a Brahmana and asked for bhiksha. Bhikshandehi. Vishwamitra gave him away. Leave. And he started doing tapas again. The another circle went again. Another 1,000 years. And at the end, finally, Brahma came in front of him and he said that, and all the gods agreed. You have to get the stamp from the gods as well, because they are the committee members. They have to give the Anushansanam, the recommendation. All the gods recommended that Vishwamitra is eligible to become a Brahmarshi. Lord, do the honors. Thus came Brahma. He called him Brahmarshe Swagatantestu. His ears were waiting to hear, to listen to these words, to these sweet words from Brahma. Vishwamitra was finally happy. He finally had achieved what he wanted to achieve. He was called a Brahmarshi by Lord Brahma himself. The creator himself called him Brahmarshe Swagatantestu. And then he asked, if I have gained Brahmanyam, then let Omkara be mine. Let Vashatkara be mine. Let all the Vedas be mine. And Tathasti, Brahma granted him. And that is the moment when Vishwamitra envisioned the famous Savitri mantra, Tatsaviturvarenyam, the Gayatri mantra that we all know. This is the moment that Vishwamitra envisioned that mantra. That's the significance of that one mantra. For one mantra, he did thousands of years of tapas. That is Vishwamitra. And Vishwamitra knew that I shall not be respected by other sages. I shall not be respected until the original Brahmarshi calls me so. So he asked Lord Brahma, is Vasishtha willing to call me a Brahmarshi? Vasishtha went and hugged Vishwamitra and said that you are a proper Brahmarshi. What else do you need? Certified by the original Brahmarshi, Vasishtha himself, this is how Vishwamitra became a Brahmarshi. Why did we discuss about Vishwamitra this long? Because you need to know what kind of a man shaped the character of Rama. This is the reason why Rama can never go wrong in his entire life, because he was trained by a master like Vishwamitra, a man who had gained self-control by his own efforts. This is the story of Vishwamitra. And afterwards, in the next session, we will enter into the jungle of Ramayana, the marriage of Rama and Sita, and other things. So I shall end the session here.